Welcome back to Eagle Discovery. Today we're journeying to a place that redefines the idea of a kingdom. Bhutan, nope, not butane the gas, is an extraordinary country where life moves at its own pace. Happiness means more than wealth, and the rest of the world seems like a distant echo. Ready to dive into a nation that measures its success by gross national happiness, not GDP? Let's go explore Bhutan, where tradition, isolation, and environmental dedication make it stand out. 1. Enter Bhutan, a strictly monitored kingdom. Let's begin with an essential fact. Bhutan is not a destination where you can simply roam on your own terms. Every tourist is required to be part of a strictly organized, government-approved tour. Now, you might wonder why this is necessary. Bhutan has a unique philosophy that centers around protecting its breathtaking landscapes and rich cultural heritage. To uphold this, the government enforces a daily tourism fee, typically between $200 and $250 per person. This fee is more than just a price tag. It acts as a safeguard, regulating the number of tourists and minimizing environmental impact. Unlike popular destinations that are often overwhelmed by crowds, like Paris or Bali, Bhutan prioritizes exclusivity and sustainability. Although this cost may appear high, it's integral to Bhutan's one-of-a-kind approach to responsible tourism, offering visitors an experience that's as pristine as it is memorable. 2. A kingdom with zero traffic lights? Only in Bhutan. This distinctive country stands apart from the modern world with not a single traffic light across its towns and cities. At one point, the government attempted to install traffic lights in Thimphu, Bhutan's bustling capital. The goal was to improve the flow of traffic and bring the city up to speed with other urban centers. However, to the surprise of many, the Bhutanese people didn't take well to this new technology. They felt that the lights disrupted the human touch that they valued in their everyday interactions, especially in the management of daily life on the roads. The response was clear, and soon enough, the government removed the traffic lights entirely. Today, Thimphu's intersections are managed by local police officers, who stand at busy crossroads gracefully directing cars with deliberate and fluid hand signals. This approach does more than keep the traffic flowing. It adds a human connection to an otherwise mechanical task, making it feel both intimate and community-centered. Standing on a Thimphu street corner, you'll see people observing the officers with respect and admiration, as if they're watching an art form. In Bhutan, simplicity is a guiding principle, and the Bhutanese deeply appreciate this less-is-more approach. The absence of traffic lights not only embodies their desire to keep life straightforward and personal, but also reflects Bhutan's commitment to valuing tradition over convenience. For locals and travelers alike, Thimphu's streets offer an unexpected charm, reminding everyone that in Bhutan, even something as routine as traffic can feel like a step into a world where human connection is prioritized over automation. 3. Time, birthdays, and a unique take on age. Imagine a world where age is merely an afterthought, a place where life flows without the rigid boundaries of years and numbers. In Bhutan, this idea is more than just an abstraction. It's embedded in the culture. An estimated 60% of Bhutanese people don't know their exact birth date. Instead of celebrating birthdays individually, many choose to mark the beginning of each year on January 1st, uniting in a collective symbolic fresh start. This tradition reflects a unique perspective on time, where the Bhutanese prioritize personal growth, shared experiences, and wisdom over age. For the Bhutanese, age doesn't define one's place in society or the value of one's contributions. Instead, community roles, life experiences, and the lessons learned from everyday moments are cherished as the true markers of a person's journey. There's less pressure to meet age-related milestones, allowing people to grow and evolve at their own pace. This cultural view underscores Bhutan's commitment to living a meaningful, balanced life, where time is measured more by the richness of relationships and experiences than by the ticking of the clock. 4. Pigs on marijuana, an unusual farming technique. Yes, you heard that right. Bhutanese farmers feed their pigs marijuana leaves, a practice that may sound unusual, but there's a reason behind it. The marijuana acts as a natural sedative, calming the pigs and helping them relax, which encourages them to rest and gradually put on weight. Unlike in other places where animal farming is often done with a focus on rapid meat production, these Bhutanese pigs aren't primarily raised for their meat. In fact, Bhutan has a long-standing cultural practice of importing most of its meat to reduce the ethical and environmental burdens associated with domestic meat production. So why continue feeding pigs marijuana? For Bhutanese farmers, it's a tradition rooted in maintaining a harmonious farm environment. This practice ensures that pigs live in a tranquil, stress-free setting, allowing them to become plump without the pressure of industrial farming. It's a unique approach that embodies Bhutan's overall philosophy of compassionate farming and sustainable land use. By integrating this herb, the farmers create a relaxed farm environment where animals grow naturally, becoming part of the larger ecosystem. This farming method also reflects Bhutan's deep respect for the natural world and sustainable practices. Bhutanese farmers believe that a calm animal contributes positively to the health of the land, aligning with the country's overall commitment to environmental harmony. Feeding pigs marijuana leaves remains one of the fascinating quirks that make Bhutan's agricultural landscape so unique, a blend of tradition, sustainability, and a touch of the unexpected, making it an integral part of the country's remarkable cultural identity. 5. The world's last TV-free zone until 1999. Bhutan's journey toward modernization has been a careful, measured one, with television only arriving in 1999. This milestone made Bhutan the last country in the world to introduce this technology, and it marked a turning point in how information and entertainment entered the lives of Bhutanese citizens. Until then, life in Bhutan was lived without the influence of constant screen time that much of the world had already grown accustomed to. The absence of television meant that daily life was more deeply rooted in personal interactions, traditional storytelling, and community gatherings. The careful pace didn't stop there. Up until 2010, Bhutan also upheld a nationwide ban on tobacco, reinforcing the country's commitment to public health and its unique approach to modern influences. By taking modernization one step at a time, Bhutan demonstrates a rare approach, embracing progress while keeping its heritage intact. This gradual adoption of technology and new social norms allows the Bhutanese to balance innovation with the preservation of their cultural values, showing a deep respect for tradition that continues to shape the nation's identity even as it steps into the modern world. In Bhutan, modernization isn't a race. It's a conscious journey, where the old and new are blended thoughtfully to retain the essence of what makes the country unique. This approach keeps Bhutan's culture resilient and its people closely connected to their roots, even as they embrace the possibilities of the future. 6. Bhutan's unique economy, gross national happiness. In Bhutan, success is not defined by gross domestic product, GDP, but by a unique metric called gross national happiness, GNH. This philosophy, established in the 1970s, reflects Bhutan's deeply rooted Buddhist values, which prioritize collective well-being over individual wealth. GNH focuses on 4 foundational pillars: sustainable development, environmental conservation, cultural preservation, and good governance. Each of these pillars is woven into the fabric of Bhutanese life. Sustainable development ensures that economic progress doesn't come at the expense of future generations. Environmental conservation, highly regarded in Bhutan, helps maintain the country's pristine landscapes and biodiversity, aligning with their view of nature as sacred. Cultural preservation keeps Bhutan's traditions alive, from language and dress to spiritual practices, allowing the Bhutanese to remain connected to their heritage as modernization slowly takes root. And finally, good governance promotes fairness, transparency, and a balanced relationship between the government and its citizens, fostering a sense of trust and stability within the community. 7. A complicated history and transition to democracy. While Bhutan places a high value on simplicity, It faces its share of challenges as a small nation navigating the modern world. The transition from an absolute monarchy to a democratic government only began in 2006. A monumental change led by the monarchy itself to empower the Bhutanese people with more political voice. Today, Bhutan operates as a constitutional monarchy with an elected parliament, blending traditional reverence for the monarchy with democratic principles. Economically, Bhutan remains modest, with an average income of about $3,000 per year. Yet, despite this relatively low income level, the country is notably resilient and fares well on global measures of transparency and trust in governance. Bhutan ranks an impressive 25th in the world for low corruption, a reflection of the strong ethical foundation in its leadership and governance systems. This transparency fosters a high degree of trust in leaders, and Bhutanese citizens feel aligned with the country's goals and priorities. The people of Bhutan continue to demonstrate a deep respect for their leaders, who have shown a commitment to guiding the nation through change without compromising core values. This connection between the government and its people strengthens Bhutan's sense of unity, allowing it to meet challenges while holding on to its identity. It's a remarkable balance, valuing simplicity, striving for progress, and navigating challenges together as a nation committed to both tradition and thoughtful growth. 8. Bhutan's relationship with the world, minimal and selective. Bhutan maintains formal diplomatic relations with only 54 of the 193 United Nations member states, a deliberate choice rooted in the monarchy's vision of preserving Bhutan's unique identity. The country's leadership believes that limiting external influence helps protect Bhutan's cultural heritage, environmental integrity, and social values from the pressures of globalization. Known as Drukyul, or the Land of the Thunder Dragon, Bhutan takes pride in its controlled, mindful approach to international relations. In fact, Bhutan does not maintain formal diplomatic ties with major global powers like the United States or China. Instead, it prioritizes close relationships with a select few countries that share its values and strategic interests, particularly its immediate neighbor, India. Bhutan and India enjoy a strong partnership based on mutual respect and cooperation, with India providing support in areas such as trade, education, and infrastructure. 9. Nature's influence and the Land of the Thunder Dragon. Nestled deep within the Himalayas, Bhutan's awe-inspiring landscapes are not just scenic backdrops, but fundamental to the country's sense of identity and spiritual heritage. Home to over 750,000 residents, Bhutan is renowned for its striking peaks, including Gangkhar Puensum, which stands as one of the world's highest unclimbed mountains. At nearly 7,570 meters, Gangkhar Puensum remains untouched by mountaineers due to a government ban on climbing imposed in 1987, a decision made to preserve the sanctity of Bhutan's sacred mountains, which are deeply revered in local culture and spiritual beliefs. In Bhutan, respect for nature is woven into the fabric of everyday life. The Bhutanese view their natural environment as not only a resource, but as an integral, almost sacred aspect of their national identity. Mountains, rivers, and forests are cherished and protected, and the government enforces strict conservation laws to preserve these landscapes. This reverence for nature is visible in Bhutan's national policies, including its constitutional commitment to maintaining at least 60% of its land under forest cover. Bhutan's connection to the land exemplifies its unique approach to modernity, striving for development without compromising its cultural and environmental values. The untouched peaks serve as powerful symbols of Bhutan's philosophy, where nature is regarded with profound respect and protecting the environment remains a top priority for future generations. 10. India, China, and Bhutan, a balancing act. Nestled between the giants of India and China, Bhutan acts as a peaceful buffer zone, holding a significant strategic position in the region. While the majority of Bhutanese people practice Buddhism, a smaller yet substantial part of the population follows Hinduism, creating a harmonious blend of spirituality and tradition unique to Bhutan. This cultural fusion reflects in Bhutan's festivals, art, and daily life, offering a rare window into a lifestyle rooted in balance and peace. However, recent border tensions in the region underscore Bhutan's crucial geopolitical role. Its position is highly valued by both India and China, with each nation showing keen interest in this small but strategically located country. India, in particular, has been a long-standing ally to Bhutan. One of the strongest ties between the two nations is Bhutan's hydroelectric power industry. India purchases a significant amount of Bhutan's hydroelectric energy, which stands as one of Bhutan's economic pillars. This partnership not only strengthens Bhutan's economy, but also reinforces the deep political and economic ties with India. 11. Bhutan's ethnic diversity and struggles with identity. Bhutan's social landscape is shaped by the presence of four main ethnic groups, each contributing to the country's cultural richness while occasionally highlighting underlying tensions. Among these groups are the Lhotshampa, often referred to as Hindu Nepalese. The Lhotshampa have faced particular challenges over the years, especially in the early 1990s, when efforts to reinforce a distinct Bhutanese cultural identity led to policies that significantly impacted this community. During this period, Bhutan enforced policies around traditional clothing, language, and cultural practices as part of a broader strategy to cultivate national unity and preserve its Buddhist heritage. These measures included mandating the wearing of traditional Bhutanese attire, known as the go for men and kira for women, in certain public spaces, as well as promoting Dzongkha, the national language. While these efforts were meant to protect Bhutan's unique cultural identity, they unfortunately led to the displacement of many Lhotshampa, who felt marginalized by policies that did not always align with their cultural heritage. As a result, a significant number of Hindu Nepalese were forced to leave Bhutan, sparking a wave of displacement and migration, mostly to neighboring countries. 12. Facing environmental risks and embracing sustainability. Although Bhutan proudly holds the title of being one of the world's few carbon-negative countries, its environment presents serious challenges. As global temperatures rise, Bhutan's glaciers are melting at an accelerating rate, putting low-lying areas at increased risk of flooding. This poses not only a direct threat to communities, but also impacts Bhutan's hydropower industry, a critical part of the nation's economy. Hydropower depends heavily on consistent water flows from glacial melt, meaning that any disruptions threaten the energy production Bhutan relies on both domestically and for export to neighboring India. Despite these environmental risks, Bhutan has taken a proactive and inspiring stance on sustainability, demonstrating a deep commitment to protecting its natural resources, people, and cultural heritage. Bhutan's government has implemented policies that prioritize forest conservation, renewable energy, and sustainable agriculture, aiming to maintain the country's impressive carbon-negative status. Through these efforts, Bhutan serves as a model for the world, showing that even a small nation can lead in the fight against climate change by focusing on environmental resilience and sustainable practices that safeguard both the land and its people. Despite its small size and isolation, Bhutan's strength lies in its resilience and dedication to happiness. It's a place that's taught the world that success isn't about wealth or global influence, but about staying true to one's values. Bhutan's story reminds us to find contentment, preserve our roots, and, as the Bhutanese would say, seek happiness within. Outro. If you enjoyed this journey to Bhutan, hit that subscribe button and join us for more unique explorations on Eagle Discovery.